Grab a bag of your favorite frozen vegetables. Rice your veggies using a food processor or the wet chop function on your Vitamix. If your veggies are still frozen, rinse under hot water to thaw.
So I feel like the most important part that a lot of people tend to skip or tend to do not 100% is squeezing out all the moisture, excuse me, from your whatever you decided to rice up. So what I like to use is you can use just regular cheesecloths. You can get these at the Dollarama, or some of those disposable towelettes, you know, they're blue or yellow or pink or whatever, and you can throw them out like jiffy cloths, my mom used to call them. Or you can use a clean dish towel too. It works really, really well if you don't mind, you know, using up a clean dish towel and just tossing it in the laundry after. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you squeeze the crap out of it. You really have to squeeze all the water out. If there's any moisture at all left in it, your crust is going to be mushy. It's going to be soggy, and it probably won't stick together very well, okay? So I have it in the cheesecloth. You need to wring it out until water stops coming out. You will get a couple of cups of water, and it's going to seem like your veggies wither down to nothing, but don't worry, that's still lots for your full crust, okay? So I'm going to squeeze all the water out of this. I'm going to let you know, I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's all squeezed out and dry. All right, so I've squeezed out all my water, and as you can see, it's really withered down the amount of veggies that I have left, where I start out with about 1 kilo, looks like that. And if you're squeezing it, no more water's coming out, you know that you've dehydrated it enough to go on to the next step. Okay, so now here comes the fun part. This is where you can really use your imagination and create different flavors with your crusts. This is basically the same recipe I use if I'm making little sandwich breads or naans or little soft taco shells for burritos and stuff like that. It's actually even basically the same recipe as the cauliflower and broccoli tots, and my kids love those, except there is added cheese in that recipe, but it's very identical, and you have to squeeze the water out of the veggies just like that. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of breaking up my veggies here. And now this is where you can really use your imagination, and there's a lot of really awesome seasonings you can just throw in there. They're already put together, and it really gives your crust a unique flavor. You know, mix it up, try different kinds and see what you like. So today I'm going to put in some of the Clubhouse Garlic Plus and maybe a couple of sprinkles of Cajun. Why not? We're going to be wild tonight on Friday night. And this is also one of my really very new favorites that I get at Costco, the Clubhouse Everything Bagel Seasoning. It's so delicious, and I don't know, it tastes good on everything. I'm gonna sprinkle a bit of that inside of that too. All right, so now I've seasoned it. I'm gonna add 1 egg, not more than that. It's just so it kind of cooks together and binds. Yes, I know we took out all the water, now we're making it wet again. I'm aware of that. Trust me, it works, okay? Throw my shell out, and just because I picked up some groceries today and I'm running out of room in my fridge, I have this little square of feta left. I'm gonna break it up and put it inside. Now you do not need to use cheese or any dairy, or you do not have it for the crust for this recipe, okay? I'm choosing to do that. You can very well use it without. Normally 90% of the time I do it without, because I prefer to put the cheese on top of my pizza instead of really having it inside the crust where I'm not going to taste it anyhow. All right, I might as well just have it all nice and gooey on top. So I'm just going to break up this feta, but I want room in my fridge right now, so that's what's going on with that. Just gotta rinse my fingers. So what you're going to do now is we're going to just mix it all up, make it wet again, although it won't be as wet. Now when you touch it, it's gonna stick together like pout, what's pout? Dough. Dough with deer, a female deer. My grandma used to say that song. The second thing that a lot of people don't do, and it really, really helps, and you should make sure you do this, is preheat your pan. Your pan should be hot I know it's kind of dangerous, but your pan should be hot when you're putting your dough on it. Okay, so I'm gonna use a pizza stone from Pampered Chef. I've had it since like 1902. It's older than my children. I'm not even kidding. So my pan is hot, not my pan, my pizza stone is hot. I'm still putting a parchment paper on top. Okay, like that. And I don't have much feeling in my fingers, but just be very careful, okay? So put your dough there on top. I want to put it like in the middle, in a ball, like a pizza dough, because it's going to be easier to spread around like that, especially if you're trying to make a round pizza. Okay. But now you basically, and with the parchment paper on top, you can just spin the parchment paper around instead of touching the pan. So just be very careful. You don't burn your fingers. I'm just squishing it out, making it round, turning my parchment paper, not the pan. Okay, and making a round crust. Get on there a little bit more so you don't make so much noise. You want to try and get it about the same thickness all the way around, maybe about a 1/4 inch. You know, you don't want to see through it, because if you see through it, it'll break. So just make sure that you squish it all together. And by doing this too, you can kind of feel all the way around that it's the same thickness. Okay, that's pretty good. You don't want it too thin, because like I said, you don't want it to fall apart. I wipe my hands. I'm just gonna, can you guys see? I'm just gonna, yeah, there we go, pull back a bit. Let's see. Perfect. Don't forget, the pan is hot, so wear your glove. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna put this in the oven at about 375 for at least 30 minutes. Then you're gonna flip it, all right? Okay, so I put my crust in for 30 minutes on the one side, and then when I pulled it out, I used the parchment paper to flip it over onto the other side on the pizza stone, and then peel back the parchment paper and then put that in for another 10 minutes. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to crisp up that side that was underneath the parchment paper that didn't get, you know, to crisp up, okay? So I put that in for about another 10 minutes and then pulled it out, and now, as you can see, it's all one nice piece. Can you hear? It's crunchy. It's crunchy on the one side. This was the second side where the parchment paper is. And now this is when you're going to dress it. You're going to garnish it however it is you'd like. You're going to pop it back in the oven for about 7 to 10 minutes. You just enough for the cheese to melt, okay? So if you like to have hard vegetables or mushrooms or onions and peppers on it, or bacon and pepperoni and that kind of stuff, what I like to do is I like to fry it up in a pan first. Like I saute it, and then I put the sauce on. The pepperoni is fine. I usually just put the pepperoni on, but if I want bacon on it, I crisp up the bacon first, put the sauce, my pepperoni, my garnishes, my cooked onions, my cooked mushrooms, my cooked peppers, my cheese, and sprinkle some bacon on top, and then throw it back in the oven for another 10 minutes until the cheese is all nice and melted and a little bit golden on top. We're gonna pull it out of the oven, let it sit again for another 10 minutes, and then we're gonna cut it up. So let's see what it looks like then. Alrighty, so my pizza crust I cooked earlier today, and now I'm gonna dress it, and I'm gonna throw it in the oven for another 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna eat it. So now it's time to dress it, okay?
It's crazy.
That's crazy. So what you wanna do is literally use your imagination, put what you like on it, okay? I have, if you like veggies, or I like mushrooms, I like onions, and I like peppers and stuff like that. If you like that kind of stuff on your pizza and you're doing it on a veggie crust, I do recommend that you cook these items in advance. Like saute them, make them so they're soft, because we only want to put the pizza in for like maybe another 8 to 10 minutes just to melt the cheese, get the cheese a little bit golden on top, and to cook the pepperoni, okay? So earlier today, I did bacon, just regular bacon. I cut it up and I fried it up. And then in the bacon grease, I fried up some onions. It smells amazing. I fried up some comment on dit là? Des poivrons. The
Mushroom.
what is this?
Peppers.
Peppers, orange peppers, and mushrooms. And they're already pre-cooked, because if you put them on the pizza, on the crust that you've already cooked raw and throw it in the oven, I find they don't cook as well, right? Like it's still good, it's still tasty, because I'll eat these veggies raw anyhow, but on a pizza, I kind of want it to taste like a pizza. They just don't cook fast enough, because you don't want that in that too long, because you're going to burn your crust again. So pre-cook your veggies. All right, so what do we, pizza sauce, we use regular pizza sauce. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can make your own. Pizza sauce is an accessory. You use it in moderation. It's on the pizza. I opened up a can and I refilled my bottle. Yummy. And because the crust is all veggies, this is just bonus, right? Bacon. So the bacon I fried up earlier today, so it's cooked and crispy.
And crispy.
Because if you put it raw on the pizza, it's not going to be crispy enough, because
Slappy.
well, you could get it really crispy, but your crust will be burnt, and that would suck.
In a magic way. Whenever I see you, all I can think is my summer love. Been waiting for you, my love.
So this is mine right here. I'm gonna throw back in for like 7 to 10 more minutes, just so the cheese is melted and everything is warmed up and nice and golden on top. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes and my pizza's been in the oven. And another thing that I feel a lot of people forget to do, or a step that you skip, is letting your pizza rest. Okay, you're gonna want to let it rest 10-15 minutes. Don't worry, it's still gonna be hot. Look how delicious this looks. It smells so good. And yes, by the way, I know I forgot to put the chicken on it, but whatever, it's all good. I'll get it next time.
That was my fault.
Yeah,
I didn't get it for you.
I know, because you don't listen.
I was working on Jeff's pizza.
Doesn't listen. So anyhow, here's my pizza. Our pizza. It smells delicious. I'm gonna let it rest, cut it up, and then we're gonna indulge in it. It's gonna be super, super awesome. But also, a very important step, let it rest. 10-15 minutes, you just want everything to settle, okay? You start cutting it now, you're gonna have a disaster. You're gonna be probably really irritated with me and tell me it doesn't work, okay? So I'll see you in 10.
How's it look?
Looks awesome. Okay, so my pizza's rested. Pizza's rested.
Ow. Snip, snip.
Snip, snip. Okay, I'm going to cut it up. You can use a pizza cutter. I like to use, this is the most underrated kitchen tool ever. Kitchen scissors. All right, so we're going to, Michael loves his pizza cutter. I think he's probably looking for it right now.
I am.
My pizza's rested.
You always hide it.
So that means everything's kind of sticking together really well. And here we go. Here's a slice right there. Okay, we're gonna put, you want 2 slices? Sure. Might as well, it's just veggies.
You have my heart, you have my soul, you have
There
my
you go.
all, you have my control.
That's great. I'm gonna cut up this. Here's a slice, see? Look at it. Pizza. I'm telling you, this does not taste like pizza.
Well, the scissors kind of take away a little bit of the flavor. If you have a pizza slicer,
Pizza
it
cutter.
would give it a little more flavor.
Pizza cutter doesn't make the pizza.
No, it actually does.
No. Okay, but on pizza night on Fridays, how satisfied are you with
Love it. Great.
and you're pretty picky.
Pretty picky. And I'm eating the crumbs.
Yeah,
And you can actually say veggies have crumbs. Like seriously? Crumbs.
and you're trying to eat them. Okay,
Yeah.
this is good stuff. You need to try it. Don't get discouraged. It took me a couple of tries before I got it perfect, but if you follow these techniques, I swear you will have much better success than what I do this stuff on purpose, guys, so you guys don't repeat my mistakes, okay? So I went through a lot
And we've had a lot of mistakes.
We've had a lot of mushy pizzas and shit that didn't stick together. And I have really actually perfected a lot of things. So
This might actually be the best one.
he says that every time I make one, but yes, I actually do create different ones all the time, okay? So try this out.
This
Follow-
one's got broccoli
And carrot,
and carrot. Yeah.
which we've never had in the pizza, we will have tonight. Okay, so I tried this out, you know, follow the directions, follow the techniques, and you're gonna be very successful and you're gonna have very yummy pizza on Friday nights. Okay, bye guys.